Alright, we're doing the bellows, exhaust bellows, U-joint bellows, and shift cable on this 86 mercruiser sundancer with alpha 1 drive. All the bellows in here are easily accessible with the bell housing on. You just need this U-joint 1/4 socket or a flexible screwdriver head to get to them all. The water hose was a bit difficult, but I just ended up cutting it. You see in there, right there, cutting with a razor knife, and it came on out. And then there's the exhaust. That was easy, and the U-joint bellows wasn't too bad. So the shift cable is going to cut it off, pull it out, and then do the shift bellows. It's still on there. There we go. You can see the shift bellows. I got it loose and it's just disintegrated. But everything is solid. Everything looks good. Just dirty. It doesn't look like there's a lot of corrosion. This boat was out of the water for a few years. We're going to do a whole video on the thing. We built 350 Chevy motor and everything. And as soon as we get this finished, we're going to take it down to the river for the water test. So we'll check in later. Okay, we got the bellows onto the cable, and getting the brass piece inside that hole it's a bit tricky. I got it in the hole and then put this part in a vise very gently, and then used a pair of pliers very gently to work down the rubber piece over the metal till it finally went. But you need to put grease on it and plenty of WD-40. But be very careful because you can rip the bellows, and when you put it in the vise, be very gentle so you don't crush that piece there. But it's good now. So I think we're ready to try and slide it in there. So the hole, you see that? I got to clean that up a little bit, and then grease up the hole, and then that hole there is where the screws into, right there. Now they say you need a special tool, but I'm going to show you how to do it with a 9/16 socket to tighten that thing down. All right, be back in a minute. Okay, what we did was I just showed you how to get it on there. So now that allows me to slide it on and off more easily because the hole here is stretched out. So I took it off and was able to slide it back on after I put it through the bell housing. You have to put it through the bell housing and then put the bellows on, but it's going to be impossible to do it unless you do it first and then lube it down with WD-40 and grease and then slide it back on. It goes on easily, and when you put the clamp on it, it'll be fine. Be back in a minute. And I got my little toothbrush wire brush and went in there and cleaned it all around that thing. And brake parts cleaner works great for spraying it on and scrub it and then spray it off, and that stuff dries out real good. There won't be no grease or oil on there, so the adhesive will work. Alright, see the end of the cable down there? Right there. I had to fish it from the hole there. You can't see the cable now. You might be able to. Yeah, see it right there? There's the cable. So I took my long needle nose, which is right here. This long needle nose. I grabbed it and turned it and put it through behind the bell housing of the engine, and then on top of the Y pipe. So that little plastic piece that keeps it from burning, you know, that little plastic curlicue thing, will go right there. Alright, so let's button it up. Alright, we got this thing started. And we put a little anti-seize on it. And we're using a 9/16 socket with a pair of vice grips to tighten it down. Alright, so we got our cable in there. We got it threaded through the hole in under the Y pipe and out the other side. We got this screw for the cable down in there as far as I could get it to go. And so now we're going to clean this tube off and then put the shifter mechanism on. Alright, so we got our cable in with the shift mechanism on here, and so the cable inside, you got to get it as straight as you can. Once you get past the curve down on the bottom, it'll go through pretty easy. And make sure you spray plenty of WD-40 in the tube here and on the cable itself, so it has lubrication. Now all we got to do is get this connected. Be right back. Here is the little safety wire. You put that in the hole there, twist it around on that little brace on the top, and do a little figure 8. You tighten down that set screw and then back it off about an eighth of a turn. That's what the book says to do. The safety wire is just like for aircraft, so it prevents the screw from backing out. Alright, now I got my safety wire installed. Now we're going to go up top and hook up the cable. The last thing we're going to do is glue down the bellows. So we want to make sure that bellows is in the right position, but if you do it wrong and it stretches too far, you can pull it apart.